Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's Dr. John Hayes and welcome once again. Today I'm going to talk about one of the questions that seems to surface time after time after time. And this is a question that we entertain primarily from patients but also physicians as well, especially when we care or suffer from chronic pain, especially chronic pain of a neuromusculoskeletal, meaning due to the skeleton or nerves, systems, as well as, of course, peripheral neuropathy, which unfortunately is becoming more and more prevalent in an older, sicker population. Not just age, but necessarily, we do know that the health in modern countries, the United States especially, is not necessarily on the rise for the better, but is actually taken a hit for the worse, primarily due to obesity, the now widespread prevalence of diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, which is prediabetes, occurring younger and younger and younger. But the question becomes, why can't I just do this or that? In other words, why can't I just take this drug? And then the question, of course, oftentimes from physicians comes, can't there just be, like, for example, diabetes, can't there just be this one medication that would take care of the whole problem? And most physicians know the answer to that, and most patients do. Unfortunately, the reality is no, because there are so many different systems at work, so many pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, which brings me back to the title of this video, which is the title of an article that we recently published talking about how a system is necessary to not only make measurable strides, but also to have, the most importantly, long-term results. And I think the same is true for just about any healthcare problem out there when you come right down to it. So, outside of the little things like cuts, scrapes, which you've all experienced, that pretty much resolve pretty quickly on their own or with minimal medical attention, we have the more complicated or complex health issues that we all face as we get older. So it takes on the part of the physician the knowledge that multiple things need to occur at the same time. And, most of the time, if you go to the doctor and you're sick, you're going to be admonished to get your rest, watch your diet, watch your fluid intake, and so on. And I think, unfortunately, too many times adults ignore this. But the reality is that all of these things, everything from adequate hydration to proper nutrition, proper diet, etc., go a long way towards helping you recover, and then, of course, with long-term results. And nowhere is that more true when it comes to diseases of the musculoskeletal system and the related disorders of the nervous system. Today, especially, we're talking about diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and their impact on peripheral neuropathy. But short of these, because we've spoken about these extensively and will continue to do so because it's something that we all need to do, diet, lifestyle, exercise, activities to tolerate. The other pieces of the system, though, and this is so important to understand, we're not talking about magic bullets. We're not talking about one magic dietary supplement, one magic drug, a magic pair of insoles, booties, whatever the latest internet fad appears to be. But there are measurable things that really help and go a long way towards recovery, stabilization, and living a more pain-free or more pain-controlled life. And probably the biggest takeaways that we have now in this era are laser therapy. Laser and light therapy probably is the number one advance that we've seen in the last 30 years, but most especially the last 10 years with regard to managing these conditions and a whole host of other disorders, by the way. And of course, our work with neurostimulation, electric stim, and the realization that when properly applied and using research behind it can be just an enormous advantage towards recovery and ultimate stabilization of, the painful conditions like peripheral neuropathy and related disorders. So to summarize, yes, it takes a system. So what are the parts of the system? Diet, lifestyle, hydration, and then the other pieces or components oftentimes includes nutritional support and supplementation after appropriate testing, because otherwise you're not going to know what you're doing or what you should be taking and so on, which is why you'll see the warnings that we have on our website, and this is something we discuss with patients all the time in clinic, but also the other key takeaways, that the pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, that will really help you make meaningful progress both in the short term and the long term, center around the use of light therapy, laser therapy, and neurostimulation for sure. All right? So, in summary, I have a question for you, either as a patient or a doctor. Which part of this do you find most difficult and which part can we help you with the most. Seriously, I mean, everybody, like I said, whether you be a patient or physician, is looking for an easy way. Unfortunately, though, all of these pieces of the system, regardless of the illness, regardless of the health problem that you or I face, have got to be attended to for the best results. And, neuropathy, chronic pain is no different. But again, what do you find most difficult? How can we help you? And what do you see as a better way to do this? I wish there was a way to simplify it more. That's what we try to do. But by the same token, we want to know what's important to you and, of course, how we can serve you day in, day out. All right? So I want to thank everybody for watching. And, of course, thank you for all your kind comments, your letters, your emails, and so on. It really does mean a lot to us. If you want to learn more about what we do, what our doctors do, you can simply go to our websites, leave your information there, and we'd be more than happy to get you on our list. We publish newsletters for both doctors and patients on Monday mornings. And again, this is kind of a summary of something that was discussed recently and we feel is very, very important. All right, bye for now. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.